Listener discretion is advised.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the I Should Totally Be Dead Right Now podcast, where we tell stories of survivors of true crime, natural disasters, and everything else in between. This week we have a special guest. This is Joel Priddy. This is actually Michelle's husband.
This is my very dashing husband.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
So he actually has several stories about himself, because right now he should totally be dead right now after these stories.
After numerous times.
Yes. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Joel, for coming.
You're welcome.
So we tried to get you a little drunkard. I've been excited about getting you drunk for probably since we
started.
Week now. Yeah, that's a true story.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever seen me really drunk.
Maybe once, but not really.
When was that?
I don't know. Was it Isaac's birthday? Were you kind of drunk then?
Oh, I was a little drunk.
Yeah, Isaac, his oldest son, turned 21. And we had the same thing we're having today, the fucking Irish car bombs.
Irish car bombs,
yeah. Those are dangerous. Well, today, yes, we did have, you chose Irish car bombs.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's usually Guinness, but we actually brewed our own beer because we're fancy like that.
It was an Irish stout.
Yeah, it was delicious.
It was very good.
And then you have your beer, and then you drop a shot of like 2/3 Irish cream and 1/3 Jameson. And you drop it in and you drink it. You gotta drink it fast because otherwise it curdles and gets nasty.
Yeah,
kind of looks. I don't know.
No, it's just not good.
Yeah,
It tastes delicious. I love those things.
Yeah. So we did a few of those.
Yep.
You did a couple.
2. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin and I tied.
Yeah.
We
we
tied.
Yeah. I like to think I eked out in front, but I think it was actually a pretty.
Oh no, I was sitting there looking at my watch.
Okay, listen here.
It had been several seconds.
Well, and then we followed it up with an oldie but a goodie, those pink Starburst. A take on the pink Starburst.
I gotta tell you, those are really, really tasty.
Yeah.
Are they not?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
They're
them.
super tasty.
Yeah.
I could drink a lot of that.
Mine's almost gone.
My third one's almost gone. Second one?
I think it's like your second and a half.
2.5, yeah. All right.
All right, should we jump in?
I think so. Or Michelle, did you want to
Should I tell my survival story for Goosey?
You probably should.
Yeah. Do tell.
Okay, so Goosey, our Alaskan Malamute, who is obviously one of the loves of our lives. We have Charlie.
He's
also.
a wonderful dog.
So I let Goose and Charlie out in the morning, as I do every single morning, and we were all hanging out, as we do. Everything was fine. We were actually about to go inside, and then all of a sudden, Goose takes off across the street. Which is not normal. Normally, they don't even go in the front lawn or anything, so he takes off, goes across the street, and all of a sudden, I hear this, woman screaming, get your dog out of here, and my dog's gonna bite your dog, my dog's gonna bite him, and I was just like, oh my god. So I am trying to get over there. I still have Charlie, who will not stay. She wants to be right by my side, and obviously go also across the street to, go check out where Goosey is. So I have to run, put her inside before I can run across the street. And I have all the while all these eggs that I've since gathered in the morning with the chickens. And so I get Charlie inside. I run over to the lawn. I dump all my eggs. And I get almost across the street, and she's still screaming this whole time. And Goosey is all up in her and her Rottweiler's business.
Because he was on a leash, but Goose was not.
Goose was not on a leash.
Right.
He was on a leash, probably being a perfectly good boy. Goosey wanted to be good friends, as he does. And so I get up to the front lawn, getting ready to go across the street.
Yeah.
And Goose got bit. The other dog bit him, as we know would have happened anyway, because, my dog's going to bite your dog, my dog's going to bite your dog. But at that point, I didn't know what happened. All I know is Goosey decides to run back across the street to our house. And all the while, this, giant truck is coming down, and it's one of those, what are the trucks that have the tanks on the back? The
septic.
Yeah, I guess it's a septic truck.
Like a
Cement
septic.
No, it's not
pumping-
cement.
No, like a septic pumping truck.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
a septic pumping truck. So it's got a tank on the back, and it's a pretty good sized truck. And so Goose like immediately kind of stops, and it looked like he got hit. Like it looked like he made complete contact, and he was down because of the truck. And I was like, oh my god!
Yeah.
So the truck goes by. Goose bounds up, runs across the street, and so immediately I just turn around and just start running to look for Goose. And then I hear Charlie is like out there again, because she was like, Caitlin was like, oh Charlie, why are you down in the basement? You're
She's
so
not
silly.
allowed in the basement.
Yeah, so she put her upstairs, but I had the back door open again. So she runs out to go check out the lady again, and so I hear this like, go home, go home. I can't find Goose anywhere. I'm running all over. My mom hears panting and running and thinks it's probably the dogs. It's me. Because I've been running. As I've told Caitlin before, it takes a lot to get this baby going. You know what I'm saying? So I'm panting, and so finally I go back inside because I can't find Goose anywhere, and I'm like, oh my god, this is my worst nightmare. Fortunately, Charlie's right here. She's come back, and I find Goose in our bedroom, like all like hiding under the table or under our bed. Good lord.
Yeah, he was terrified.
He was. And
you know what though? I credit Charlie with saving his life, because if he had not been outside running around with her, playing with her, with being as quick as she is, and him having to, learn how to juke. I bet you he would have got hit by that truck.
He is really good at dodging because of him, how her and Charlie, or I can't even talk. Good God.
I know.
How
he
her
really
and
does.
Goosey play. Oh. Anyway, we took Goosey to the vet.
Yeah.
He had a little cut on his little toenail that I thought like his toenail got ripped out. No, it's like the tiniest cut ever. Like seriously, it's not even a quarter of an inch. And he has a little puncture wound.
He had some staples in
Yeah,
his
he
face.
had some.
Yeah.
He had 2 staples. He just got them removed. He's fine. He
He's
looks
very
like
happy.
he looks like a zombie dog a little bit, because it looks like he's got like 2 like
Holes in his face.
Does it look like a Joker dog?
a
Like
little
his
bit, a little
Yeah.
Two-Face situation. Or
Yeah, we started calling him Two-Face.
Aw. Well, I'm glad Goose is all good.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the worst. I was useless that whole day. Like I didn't do anything. It was
Yeah,
very
she
scary.
was very distraught.
Yeah.
So, well, beat that, Joel. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah. All right, Joel, let's hear
Yeah.
your survival stories. We're excited. I
What
haven't
is-
heard them, so.
What is your survival story number 1?
Oh, let's see. The first one. So, gosh,
Set the
it's
scene,
hard
if you
to
will.
set the scene for this. So back in when I first got out of college, the first time, I had a degree in chemistry and zoology, so I went to work for Hewlett Packard.
Can we ask what
Year this was?
2006, I think.
I'm just gonna have a little sipper.
I
of
think,
your
yeah,
drink.
2006.
Just a touch.
So 2006. So this is right after I had graduated from OSU, and so I was working at Hewlett Packard as a chemist.
Which turns out is incredibly boring.
Oh my God, so boring. Oh, here's the thing. You get into chemistry in college. If you ever got into chemistry and you think, man, this is cool. You can do all this cool shit with chemistry, right? Well, turns out when you get into the real world, it's not all about mixing up cool shit.
It's not a Breaking Bad
It
situation,
is
as it
a
turns out.
situation where, like I have a patent on one of the things that we made. And so what they do is they pay you a little bit of money, and Hewlett Packard gets the patent, and you do what's called a disclosure. So you put all the names of the inventors on it, and you send it into the patent office, and that basically kind of holds your place in line on that thing. And then the Hewlett Packard would pay us like $1,000 or something. Anyway, so you spend about a month or two going through and creating this thing that you created. Like in our case, it was in ink, because that's what we did. And then you spend the next 12 months testing it.
Okay.
And the testing it part is the part that makes you want to blow your brains out. Because like we had these little sheets, right? And they'd have black squares, like 1-inch squares on them with different strengths of the ink that we just made, right? So you take a highlighter and you run it across all of those to see how much it smears off, right? And so you have this little thing with a little optical thing, and you click that, and it measures the darkness of each of the places to see how much it's smeared.
Okay.
And it enters it into your Excel file. Well, if you can imagine doing that for 8 hours a day for 12 months.
I know. Were you an alcoholic during this time?
No.
I feel like I'm going to be an alcoholic.
No. Video games was my poison. So while I was working there, I was also trying to lose weight, which is kind of a common theme throughout my life. I've always been a big guy. So my buddy PJ, he lived in his house in Albany. It was 17 miles from his doorstep to the building we worked at.
Okay.
And so we decided we're going to go ride bikes into work, every day. I'll show up at your house at 6 o'clock in the morning. We'll ride our bicycles from your house over to, campus, do work, ride them back. We'll lose a shit ton of weight, right?
There we go. Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
And it was working.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it was working.
I bet.
Yes, it was. I was tired on those days, but it was working.
So how long did it take you to bike in?
About an hour and a half.
Oh,
You did
snap.
it
Okay.
Did you do it every day? Or was it like 3
It
times
was
a
Monday,
week?
Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
At
so
least I
it
think
was
so.
an
I'm trying
hour
to
and a half
remember.
back?
Mm-hmm.
Snap.
So you're doing
Okay.
3 hours of biking every day, basically.
Damn.
That's probably a hard pass for me.
Yeah. Seriously.
Well, it was
not
fun. I mean, I enjoyed it because especially this, we had started doing it in the summer, and so it was beautiful. Just a wonderful, wonderful ride in every day. And you don't ride right along the highway there. There's a road that parallels the highway, and it's a little ways away, and so you don't hear all the traffic. Anyways, it was great. Yeah, I liked it. But anyway, so I lived in Junction City, so I'd come north on Highway 99, and on 99 there's an AM, PM, and a road called Queen Street that heads back towards the freeway, and there's a set of 4 railroad tracks right there. This is, I don't know, maybe 100 feet off of 99.
Okay.
Anyhow, so really close. So anyway, I was driving. I was in a Geo Metro. And anyway, so I was driving north on 99, going to his house. I turn onto Queen Street, and all of a sudden the sun's like right in my face, because this was in August, when this happened, and the sun's directly in my face. So I kind of put my hand up, to kind of, so I can block the sun but still see the road, sort of. Well,
I've been there, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I think.
little.
I like to think
already.
most people do that,
Yeah.
whenever the sun's right in
And
their
you're
face.
like kind of squinting one eye, trying to see if the light is green or not, or I don't know. And you try to.
Yeah, no,
Walk with
exactly.
your
I mean,
rider.
and you're kind of the conscientious driver, right? You don't want to impede traffic. Just so you don't want to stop or pull over, because the sun's going to be there no matter what.
Right.
So anyway, I keep going. I'm going, 20 miles an hour maybe. Just trying to keep traffic moving, that's behind me. And it's a 4-lane road there, right?
Okay.
So I'm in the far right lane. And I keep going. And all of a sudden, I see something start flickering underneath my arm. And I kind of took a second to figure out, I was like, what's that? Yeah, it's the crossing guard that comes down to tell you there's a train coming.
Oh, shit.
So, of course, I put both feet on the brake. I'm trying to stop as fast as I can, go right underneath the crossing guard, and I get stopped right on the tracks.
Oh shit! So you just sort of slid underneath.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah,
landed
directly underneath
So
it.
you didn't break the thing, you just
Nope,
went under it?
just went right underneath
Oh
it.
my
In
goodness.
your little adorable.
In my
Geo
little
Metro.
Geo Metro, right. Yeah, so this is why I say don't ever talk shit about the Geo Metro. Because obviously I'm alive today. I did
Right.
not die at this
Okay.
point in time. But I remember sitting there when I'd gotten stopped and seeing the shadow coming and hearing the whistle of the train.
Oh my
I
gosh.
remember that very, very distinctly.
So okay.
Holy shit.
Let's just back up just 2 seconds. So you're just parked on the train tracks, and
Yes.
now you can see.
I didn't
Or,
see
no, you're just
anything, but
hearing
the
the
sun was all the way
whistle.
through it had, Like my whole cab was filled with light because the sun is coming through right above a building,
And you can just hear the whistle.
And I
of
could just
some
see
fucking train.
I could see a shadow and hear the whistle of the train, but there wasn't enough time between that and the perception that, oh shit, that's a train. Like there was no time in between that.
Yeah, it happened
It
really
just
fast.
it was like that,
Okay.
you know.
Holy
And it's
shit.
one of those, like, you know, where you feel your life, you know,
Flash.
everything slows down,
Uh-huh.
right? Well, it slowed down because it felt like a long time,
Uh-huh.
but between hearing it and seeing the shadow and then actually understanding what it was that was about to happen,
Uh-huh.
never happened.
So,
There was no connection.
Wow.
Were you able to react at all? Or
No.
did that train just plow the fuck
It
Oh my
plowed the
gosh.
fuck out of me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there
Wait,
was no reaction
So
to
could
it.
you
Like-
hear them trying to hit the brakes? Like
I didn't hear anything like
Okay.
that. Nope.
they just
Because then the next thing I remember is the car is rolling. I
Yeah.
don't remember seeing anything
Uh-huh.
because I wasn't really paying attention to seeing. I was holding on to the steering wheel and pushing myself against
Fuck my
the
life,
seat.
man.
And the car is rolling and there's glass everywhere, and then it stopped. And that's when I started remembering what's going on.
Oh,
And then it's
snap,
like,
that was a train.
oh my God, what just happened?
Uh-huh.
And then I'm hanging from my seatbelt
You're
because
totally upside down now.
no. So okay, remember I told you it was 4 lanes.
Yeah.
And I was in the far right lane.
Uh-huh.
I was in the far left lane, turned the other direction
Oh, so it
Oh
like
wow.
on my side.
On
pushed
the
you
side.
180 and over a quarter roll.
I rolled
if
3
you-
times.
Oh my God, 3 times?
Yeah, I rolled 3 times.
Thank God you had your seatbelt
Yeah.
on.
So I'm hanging from my seatbelt,
Uh-huh.
and my car is on its side.
Wow.
Right.
Fuck, man.
So how old
Alright.
are you at this time though? You don't remember?
Let's see. That would have been 2006.
28, maybe?
Yeah.
Wait,
You're
yeah, no, 20.
2006.
mid to late 20s?
No, 30. 29. 29, I can do that.
Okay, 29.
29. Okay.
No, I mean, I was a relatively young guy. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I had just, like, that was my first job out of college.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that was my second job out of college because my first job was kind of anyway.
Well, it took
Not
you a
important.
little while to get to college. I mean, you were
Yeah,
busy,
that's
you know,
true.
in
Well,
the army and having children. And
yeah.
doing all-
And,
Yeah.
okay, this is around the time of the iPhone 3G.
Woo.
Okay.
That really puts everything in perspective.
I just want to set this for the younger
Okay,
listeners,
yeah.
right? This is a
Everyone's
long
like,
time
I knew
ago.
exactly where I was during that time.
So I have a phone that is not an iPhone anymore,
Okay.
and I can't find it. So I unclip my seatbelt and I hoist myself out through the broken door or window in the driver's side door.
So are you driver's side down at this point?
No, I'm
Because-
driver's side up.
Okay, so
That's
I'm
why he's
hanging-
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
hanging
okay.
from it.
Thank you.
So
I got it
anyway,
wrong.
driver's side up. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, you know, ready for the ride to work. And I pull myself up and I'm like, holy shit. Anyway, I jump out. There's people running at my car at this point.
Has the train passed on by?
Yeah, they kept going.
They didn't stop?
They
No,
kept going.
don't-
They didn't even know they
stop?
hit me.
Oh, really? 'Cause of
Okay,
the
this
sun?
now you have to pay attention to my version of the story because it's going to be important. It's going to be important.
Okay.
And I say my version because there is another version.
I've read it online.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. So people,
So-
do you feel any pain right now, or you have
No,
adrenaline going?
I am, man. I'll tell you what. You wanna talk about a high? Go do some shit like that and live. No, it was amazing because
Yeah.
I felt amazing when I came out of that car. I'll tell you what, I was
Wow.
hopped up like you wouldn't believe.
That's what we hear about a lot of the stories that we
Comes
read.
vaulting
is
out
people
of
don't
the
feel
car.
the pain.
No,
Yeah.
there was no
No
pain.
pain.
I wasn't scared. There was no pain. It was just you didn't have time
Right.
to be scared.
Okay.
By the time you could have been scared, it's over.
Yeah.
You know, so there was just no time to be scared.
Yeah.
And anyway, there's all these people coming over, and so this guy's there, and he's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine, but I lost my cell phone. Can I borrow yours? He's like, yeah, no problem. So I call my wife at the time, and I'm like, but it's 6 a.m. She's sleeping.
Oh, okay.
That would be me.
I get the answering machine. For all you kids out there, an answering machine is a machine that answers telephone calls for you with a pre-recorded message.
It's just like your voice.
It's just for people in your age category. Caitlin. Anyway.
He wants this to be for all audiences.
Okay, yes. Thank you for clarifying.
I have to make sure all the kids out there really know what's up.
Yes.
All right. Anyhow, so I leave this message on the answering machine, and then I give the guy back his phone. I was like, crap, she didn't answer. Well, this motherfucker, my ex-wife, calls back the number because she didn't realize it but recognized my voice. Calls the number back. Okay, so the message I left was, hey, babe, having car troubles. I'll call you later.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Completely accurate, but not enough to really make her scared. Right? Yeah. Because I don't want to say, hey, just got hit by a train. Talk to you later. Yeah. I mean, that message does not go over well. No, I gotta tell you. So
I'm safe, but this really crazy thing happens.
Yeah. How do you leave that on an answering machine? Is what I'm saying.
True. Well, you probably
I try to soften the blow, right?
Yeah.
So I try to soften the blow a little bit, and so she calls back the phone number because it has caller ID. And this guy answers, I don't know what's going on, but this dude just got hit by a train.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Completely ratted me out.
Oh.
So now, all of a sudden, she calls my buddy PJ, who I'm going there to meet. She's like, I don't know what's going on, but this dude just said Joel got hit by a train.
You need to get the fuck over there.
Yeah, you need to go pick him up or figure out what's going on. Have him call me. Anyway, so PJ runs down there. All this time, I'm talking to the cop who's like, so at which point did you try to go around the crossing guard? I said, I didn't try to go around anything. She goes, well, then how did you get underneath? And I said, isn't that your job to figure out?
Oh, gosh.
Because it's like I'm sitting here, I just got hit by a train. And, by the way, there was glass embedded in my arm. I didn't find that out until I got to work.
Oh, God. So you went to work?
Yeah, so
no one called the ambulance?
Yeah, they called the ambulance.
Oh, okay.
I went AMA.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know this, but if you're involved in an accident or something like that, you can go against medical advice and not have them transport you. And I actually use that in the other story I'm going to tell.
My word.
But no, they're expensive, and if you know you're pretty much okay, but you're probably going to need something, you can take yourself there and save thousands of dollars.
Right.
So, especially if you don't have insurance or whatever. So anyway, I did, but when I got to work later, I worked at Hewlett Packard, and they had showers and stuff. So I went downstairs and took a shower, and as I did after I got all sweaty. Biking into work anyway, but when I was in there, when I was rubbing my arm, I felt something hard on my, and I didn't even it didn't hurt.
Yeah,
it was just like, what is that, And so I kind of pinched it, and it goes tink 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 tink, on the bottom. It was a big old square of glass.
Ew.
That's a hard bar. Yeah, FYI.
But yeah, so I was sitting there talking to the cop, and she did not she was not being nice to me. I was not being nice to her. Like, we were both having a bad morning. But she did not appreciate it. She gave me a ticket.
Did she really?
Failure to yield to a traffic control device.
What?
You're like, bitch, that came down on my car.
No, I even showed her. I was even like, so I went over to the car, and I looked at the car, and she had said that I'd gone around. I said, now if I had gone around, where did this line across the very top of my hood come from? The roof of the car. It had scraped on the bottom of the thing, but since your roof is domed, it only comes across the center. It only scrapes the center.
I'm following you.
Right. So anyway, so I look at the roof and I was like, I'll bet you if you go look at the crossing guard, it's got some red paint on it. You know, like, do I need to do your whole job for you?
Yeah.
So, did you end up having to pay that
No,
ticket?
it's actually funny. So I had just recently graduated from OSU, right? And so I went into my, the thing where they make you all go to court at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
So I went in there for my traffic ticket, and it was like I don't know at the time, it was like a $200 ticket or something like that. So significant because I was not rich at that point in time. I was like,
The opposite
not
of
rich, very unrich. Yeah, so I went in there and I'm like, God, I hope I can get this reduced or whatever. And I go in there and the guy goes, how many of you have recently graduated from high school and or college? I raised my hand. He goes, all of you can take diversion. Get out.
Cool.
I was like, yes.
Yeah.
At $75 online course, you just go on there, you fill, make sure to pass the test at the end and you're done. That's
there
it.
you go.
And it was $75.
And that doesn't go on your record.
And it does not go on your
That's
record.
nice.
So that was pretty awesome. I was pretty happy about that. But
So they just tow your car off after
yeah,
that,
so they
and
towed
you headed to work. That's clear.
Yeah, so PJ got down there and he took me to work. He took me to work and then
I probably would have taken a sick day.
Yeah, I would have too.
well,
He's like, "Fuck
at
that.
that point
I
in
gotta
time
watch some ink dry.
I need money, you know what I'm saying? And I think at that point in time, because I was a contractor at HP and then I got hired full time.
Okay.
So I'm trying to remember if that was when I was a contract employee or not. I don't remember, but
Probably
hours were important because
Yeah.
as a contract employee, you didn't get holidays, you didn't get vacation days, you didn't get sick days, none of that shit. So it was like, if you didn't go to work, you didn't get paid.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I got to be at work. I got to make money, you know? So, so anyway, I went into work and, I was there, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes late, maybe.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Really?
Yeah, maybe
Well,
5
I
minutes
guess you
late.
were planning on that hour and a half.
Right,
to
yeah,
get in
but I was
there.
maybe 5 minutes late and my boss was like, why were
Well,
you
no, he
late?
was
And I was like, I
driving.
got hit by a train.
No, he was driving to his friend's house,
Oh, right.
so
to
he could bike.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so we could buy
That's right.
the 17 miles. So it's an hour.
Yeah.
It was going to be an hour and a half.
Okay.
So I was able to get there. I'm pretty sure it was like 5 minutes, but I was late.
That's
Yeah.
insanity.
Is really the point. And my supervisor comes out and he goes, "Oh, I noticed you were late. I hope this isn't going to be a, an ongoing
problem.
thing." And I was like, "Well, unless the train decides to hit me every day of the week, I don't think it will be." And so, and then he looked at me and goes, "What?" And I'm like, I got hit by a train this morning. You should be glad I'm just here. Period.
Yeah.
At all.
Because I would not have been.
Right.
No.
I don't have that kind of performance.
Well, my ex-wife did show up with my kids and pick me up at lunch or something like that
Aw.
and take me home. And I was like, but at that point in time, that's when your muscles finally realize
Okay.
what happened.
Uh-huh.
And everything's tight.
Mm,
Everything,
bet.
like, if you can imagine the worst muscle soreness pain in the world,
Mm-hmm.
it came on about lunchtime. And I couldn't move my neck. I couldn't move my shoulders. I mean, everything
So you
was
had
just...
whiplash, like severely.
Maybe whiplash. I don't know. It could have been... I
Did
don't
you ever go to the doctor?
No.
No, of course not. On that.
Doctors are pussies.
That's not good advice.
So you're home now?
No.
Okay.
So, well, I mean, I guess I was home. But I used to read the newspaper that they had in Albany, Gazette Times, I think is what it's called.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I used to read it. Wouldn't you fucking know it? I read this shit the next day. And they have a cheers and jeers section. I get a jeer because some asshole at the Gazette Times wrote an article about the guy in a hurry, and I'm doing air quotes right now, in a hurry to get to work gets hit by a train.
Oh, so
Yeah,
the
this
story of
dude
you-
takes exactly what the cop tells him and prints that shit as if it was true and never even once contacted me about what actually happened.
That's surprising, honestly.
Yeah. So he's writing in there about how I was in a hurry to get to work and I went around the guard and I'm like, okay, number one, if I was in a hurry to get to work, why was I going the opposite direction of work?
Right.
I'm headed east, my work is west.
Yeah.
I mean,
In your face, journalist.
not only that, but I am north of the freeway or highway that takes you into Corvallis anyway, and my house is south of that. I mean, it just, none of it made any sense. So, me being the very literate person I am, I wrote a very nice, eloquently worded letter to the editor of said newspaper about their shoddy journalism and how they didn't follow up on any facts and how they had one source that told them what happened and that they were portraying me in a I mean, I went on and on and on.
Came off the top row.
I mean, yeah, it was significantly linked.
I'm surprised.
I'm not. Have you read any of this motherfucker's stuff?
No, I'm not. I'm surprised that they didn't like ask for the victims, statement
side
or
of it.
or the train didn't stop. I mean, they had to be investigation.
Yeah, so actually the train stopped eventually when the cops called them and said, "Hey, you hit somebody 25 miles ago." They were it wasn't 25 miles, but it was a ways. They were in Millersburg. Okay. So I mean that's slightly north of it's adjacent to Jefferson.
Oh, okay.
So
anyway. So almost to Salem.
Yeah, so they were about halfway between Albany and Salem.
Okay.
Before they found out they hit somebody, they're like, nothing happened to the train, so...
It was a Geo Metro, it's fine.
I mean, it was like a flea on a dog, you know? Right, I mean, it's so small, and it just that's a lot of mass, you know?
Well, the sun was in it.
Of course. But anyway, so then the journalist calls me up, and I'm like, yeah, you got it wrong. I said, listen, here's the deal. Because the article he wrote said that an ODOT expert said that I could not have been hit by that train, that I must have ran into the side of the train. That was what the ODOT expert said. And so the reporter calls me up and he's like, I'm calling to get your side of the story. Like he's going to really show it to me, you know.
Now? Thank you.
I'm like, all right, well, I'm glad you finally called me up to get my side. So I told him what happened. He said, well, the ODOT expert says that you must have hit that train. I said, here's the deal. My car is 5 miles away from where that my car got hit. Go over there and look at I give you permission right now on this recorded call that you're recording so you can refer to it later. I give you permission to go look at my car. Because my car is in, I don't know, AAA towing lot or whatever. And I had went over there and found my phone. But if you looked at my car... Have you seen Back to the Future?
Yes.
Okay, you see where the tires go sideways? That's what my car looked like.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. But you could see the train-shaped dent where it hit on the passenger side, right at the hinges of the passenger door, right? So you could see that on there. The other side of the front of my car was pristine, like it had never been touched.
Right.
The whole front of my car was pristine,
so
like it had never been touched.
Yeah.
The passenger side of my car was smashed to shit.
So do you think if you got hit on the driver's side, you would have been dead, or
probably? I mean,
so that was just lucky that you were coming away, that you were the passenger side.
Yeah. No, if I would have been on the side that the train actually impacted on the car, I think for sure, at the very least, I would have been paralyzed.
Right.
I mean, absolute sure. It was. Yeah, going over railroad tracks for the next few months was very sketchy.
Yeah.
And I actually got into a wreck with my car 2 days after that going to work. I was going through Corvallis on a one-way street, and some lady was on her bicycle on the sidewalk. And when I went to go through this intersection, the lady wasn't even close, right? I didn't even see her. I look in the intersection, nobody's there. I proceed through the intersection. Well, all of a sudden, there's a lady in front of me on a bike. I hit the brakes. I stop. I don't hit her. She it taps her bike. She rolls onto my hood and rolls off. Well,
was this the accident?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was gonna be like.
Yeah,
and
no.
Someone from behind.
No, I'm getting to that. Hold on. So, I'm getting to why it's relevant. So I get out of the car and I'm like, oh, are you okay? Or you know, whatever. Her friend starts like hitting me in the shoulders, like not hitting me, but like screaming at me and shit. Anyway, the cops show up and she's trying to get the cops, this, you know, drummed up, like, I don't know, hitting somebody in a crosswalk bullshit. And the cop looks at her and he goes, "You're going the wrong way on a one-way street, riding a bike where it's illegal to ride a bike, going a direction it's illegal to go. This is exactly why you're not supposed to ride your bike through intersections." And basically told her, "You're wrong. You fucked up."
That's lucky.
I'm freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because I had just got hit by a train and now I'm in this other accident. I called my boss on the phone. I'm like, "I'm going home. I'm not coming back for the rest of the week.
Right.
I can't handle this shit." And I turned around and went home. Because the
There it
cop's
is.
like, the cop's
that
looking
would've
at me
been
and I'm
me.
freaking the fuck out. He's like, "Dude, it's fine." I go, "I got hit by a train 2 days ago." He goes, "That was you?" And I'm like,
I read the Gazette.
I would have thought it was funny if it wasn't for the fact that I was in the middle of it. But
Oh.
yeah, so I don't know if that guy ever went and looked at the car, but he wrote an update to the article and then, made it really obvious that, well, the Mr. Priddy says blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
That's
I
hard.
read that article and it was like, say Joel, this looks like it was your fault this whole time. And
Yeah.
he's just like, ah! And I was like, oh, I did not realize this history here.
Yeah.
No, I was not pleased with the way that guy just wanted to stick it to me for calling him out for not ever
Right.
getting my side of the story. And so he just made me look like a complete asshole.
That sucks.
You fucking call people out all the time. It drives me crazy sometimes.
Yeah, well, I do enjoy.
Bitch, why didn't you call the police? That was crazy. Anyway, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, it's
I
another
don't
story.
even. Turns out I don't really love listening to your survival stories because they make me very stressed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right. Story number 2.
Yeah. Story number 2.
Story number 2. Yeah. Okay. So
So what year are we going ahead?
this
or
is
back?
gonna be forward in time.
Forward.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
now.
So
Remember, remember I told you that there
you're
were
wiser.
a few years actually.
Oh, okay.
Now at this point in time, I was affiliated with a motorcycle club,
Okay.
and my club name was Trainwreck.
Makes sense.
Okay, I think we can all figure out why that
Yeah.
was my club name. So.
Because your life's a fucking mess.
So whenever I met anybody, it's funny in the motorcycle club world, especially in ones that use road names. When you meet new people, you introduce yourself by your road name,
Okay.
right? So everybody knew me as Trainwreck,
Okay.
and that's why my friends call me T-Dub.
Okay.
So
For the T and the W in Trainwreck.
Ah, thank you, Michelle, for pointing that out.
Oh.
Okay.
is that
She
Captain
can cut it out.
Obvious here?
Yes.
She can cut it out.
Oh,
It's
all
fine.
right. No, it's
She can cut it.
no,
in post.
no. I like it when we can make fun of you on air. That's great.
That doesn't make me feel hopeful
Anyway.
for this episode at all.
Anyhow, so we had me and Waterboard and Chaser and another person who is an asshole and I never talk about anymore.
All right.
That
Fair
that
enough.
that guy.
Okay.
Anyway, we had all decided we were going to go down to the Laughlin River Run,
Okay.
and so I'd never been to a big motorcycle rally before, and so it was kind of pretty exciting for me because I'm thinking, like there's Sturgis and Daytona and all these really cool bike events that you always hear about, but they're really far away, and so you never really end up going. So this was kind of a cool trip. So because we didn't want to take that day off work, so we left after work.
Okay.
And so it was like around 5 o'clock or something like that on probably a Friday or something. Anyhow, so we take off. We get to Reading the first night, which is a great ride.
Yeah.
At dark,
Oh.
going to the mountain pass between Ashland and Reading is very interesting.
Is it?
Yeah, and especially when you're riding side by side with people.
So
Yeah.
why is it? Is just because it's windy?
It's windy. There's deer. There's headlights coming straight at you all over the place. I mean, it was foggy that night. I have ridden in some stuff that would curdle your hair. It would
be terrifying.
It's very terrifying. There's just a lot of times that I've ridden where it was like I was it was like, I'm scared, but I can't let anybody know I'm scared.
Okay.
So I just keep doing it.
So how many people are with you? So how many people are on the road with you?
4.
4, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
4 people. So we had we were going to go down to Waterboard's dad's house in LA.
Okay.
And so we got to Reading the first night. We stayed at the hotel there, and I have a great story about that, maybe for another time.
Next.
But I'm just going to say that's where the song
No,
Folsom Prison
stop.
Blues and Waterboard became synonymous.
Oh.
It's a whole, like, I hear a train a coming. I don't even want to get into
So,
it.
okay,
It's
I have to
insane.
tell this story.
No, you don't.
It's
Move
just a very
along.
quick one. It's like
Okay.
maybe 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're in this hotel in Reading,
I want to kill
Right.
myself.
and so I'm the president of the chapter at this point in time, and so this is a club thing. We're gonna get up and go at 7 a.m. So everybody knew what time we were getting up. Well, Waterboard's there, and me, Chaser, and Warlord we're all up and getting ready to go. Right? Waterboard's still passed out. And not only is he passed out, he's passed out X style on the bed. Legs and arms out. So I was like, Waterboard, get up, right? Waterboard, get up. I kept telling him, like, every 10 minutes. I was like, get up, get up, get up. Finally, it was like 6:45. I was like, man, this motherfucker needs to get up now. And so I jumped onto his back, grabbed a hold of his hair, and started rodeo styling.
Oh my
him.
gosh.
I was like, get the fuck up! And I'm shaking and I'm going up and down. Anyway, so he gets up, obviously. Gets ready to go. And then Chaser starts playing Folsom Prison Blues in relation to what I had just done to Waterboard. And so that became just a running joke that we've always had. And that was where it was born.
So it has a special place in his heart.
Yep, has a special place in everyone's heart that was there. Anyway, so we jump back on the freeway. We go down a little further. I mean, we couldn't have been 2 miles out. I don't know. What's Chico from Reading?
Oh, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, this
40
trip was full of disaster. So we're heading to the Laughlin River End the next day. Goes pretty much, it's pretty much as you
Two
expect.
New
That's when I
Cheddars.
saw the most expensive gas I've ever seen in my life.
How much?
Well, at the time, gas was like $2.50 a gallon or something like that in Oregon. And this place was $6 a gallon.
What?
That's even still expensive.
Yeah, I actually have a video of this too. And it was in Barstow, California, out in the middle of nowhere. There's 50 miles to the closest gas station.
Well, they can.
And on
Yeah, exactly.
on their door, they had a sign that said, "We know it's expensive. Don't like it. Go somewhere else."
But where can you go?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Nowhere,
That
motherfuckers.
sucks.
There was a
Nowhere.
guy.
Wow.
This must be a popular motorcycle route because there was a guy sitting there on this just beat up old ass piece of garbage chopper. I mean, it was like at that point in time I was riding Camille.
Oh,
And
so you
Camille
had a
was
little bit of your
Camille was
own
my
haul.
first bike.
Oh, okay.
It was a 2000 Kawasaki Vulcan, and my friend Bobby and I had chopped the living crap out of this thing, put 20-inch apes on it, cut the pipes. I mean, this thing looked rat as shit, right?
You're like, look
And
at
I
my
know you're
sweet
looking
ride
at me with
compared-
these weird eyes,
Well,
like
did-
I don't
did
know
your
what the hell
arms
you're
get
talking
tired?
about.
Is that
No,
the
it
ones
was
that go
perfect
up?
for me. It was about here.
Oh, okay. Because the ones like I see on
I know,
people,
like,
all
those
the way
are
up.
But I
pretty-
guess
yeah.
you like kind of
Well, it depends.
Off of
It depends on how tall you are, how
okay.
tall your seat is, how far your seat is back from your handlebars.
So
I mean,
there's a lot to it.
there's a lot to it.
Come on,
All right,
Caitlin.
I'm sorry.
But
Come on.
the ones I had went straight up from my forks. And so I had my arms right, in a really good position for me. But it was a small bike. It was an 800cc bike. It was small.
Okay.
It's
And
like,
so
I don't know what
I'm
any of this
working
shit means.
hard to keep up with these guys who've got these, 100 plus cubic inch engines, which are, 13 or 1400 cc. So almost double the power of what I've got.
Okay.
Right. And so we're screaming down. And at this point in time, my speedometer did not work.
Oh.
So I didn't even know how fast we were going most of the
Oh,
time.
jeez.
So we're bowling down the road. I did find out we were going about 100 the most of the time. And we're splitting lanes. It's California. We're splitting lanes.
Right.
I don't know what the rules of splitting lanes. I've since found out that the rules of splitting lanes means it has to be under 20 miles an hour. We're splitting lanes at 90 or 100.
Oh, is that
That's
right?
scary.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were. We go out after leaving Barstow, and we actually push started that guy with that crappy chopper.
Oh.
He was a Vago or something. I think that was what he was. Anyway, we push started him and sent him on his way, and then we took off, and we got into Laughlin, and ever since there was a motorcycle club shoot out there a few years ago, many years ago, probably 10 years ago or something, the Gold Nugget, and it was between the Hells Angels and the Mongols. Well, ever since then, the Laughlin River Run has been like locked down for clubs. So we roll into town, and immediately the bicycle police are on you.
Oh.
And they're like, you need to take that off. And of course, I've got club tattoos, and, you know, they've got club tattoos, and we take our shirts off, and we're like, you know, okay.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, you can put your shirt on. Anyway, we had to store our club, they were called cuts, but we had to, they're vests, leather vests with all your patches on it. They call them cut. Anyway, so we take them off and we put them in a hotel room where a couple of guys can watch them. So we put them in the hotel room. We go out and start looking around. Well,
so you can't wear your cuts. The police said you can't do
yes,
that?
correct.
Because
if you cannot show club membership there.
Interesting.
They basically consider all motorcycle clubs to be criminals.
Oh.
And so they won't let you show your criminal club affiliation.
Ah. Okay.
So that's their stance on the whole thing, which is that's a little bullshit, but that's, you know. Anyway.
That's tough life, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, it's, you know, that's how the government is. When there are people they can't control, they like to put that thumb down. So, you know, that's how it works. But anyhow, so we went running around, and, you know, honestly, I think I was excited over nothing.
Oh.
It was not that exciting. They had a couple of, I don't know what I would call B concerts. You know, like B movies, but in concerts.
Oh.
They had some B concerts line up, but
so this is at the party now. You're
at the river
no,
run.
we're not at the party we're going to. We're just stopped at the Laughlin River Run, but this is the rally, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So our eventual location to be at was a party at our Kingman chapter.
Okay.
And so we had stopped in Laughlin just to hook up with all the other guys in the club that came from California and
I see.
Nevada and all that other stuff.
So
we had a couple hours.
Rendezvous point.
Yeah. So we had a couple hours to kill. And so we're just kind of chilling out down there, looking at all the stuff. Anyway, so we roll on over to the thing. And we're almost there. We're almost there.
Okay.
Promise you. So we're in
Doesn't
the home.
feel like we're almost there.
We're in Bull City, Nevada.
Okay.
Nevada.
Okay.
Is that no? I don't know. Whatever's across from the river from Laughlin.
Okay.
I think it's Bull City. But anyway, the important part is there's no helmet law there. You don't have to wear a helmet.
Okay, interesting.
Right. Well, so we're in the Home Depot parking lot. The person who's leading the ride's like, okay, we're gonna take it easy. We haven't ridden together before. It's all good. And this guy's from California, and he's like, you know, we're gonna be following my GPS, and so we're just gonna take it easy.
Okay.
We get out of this motherfucker, and we are going hard. I mean, hard.
Yeah.
So
Because,
how many
like,
bikes are now with you guys?
We're probably 20, 25 bikes deep.
Okay.
You know, something
That's a
like
lot,
maybe
yeah.
30. I don't know. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of people. And anyway, so I can tell we're going hard because as we're going out of this place, I've got my throttle buried.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't go any faster, and I've got these little short ass pipes on there that are loud as fuck.
Uh-huh.
And there's this dude next to me, and he and his old lady are looking at me like, "The fuck are you doing?" They moved to the back
Oh,
to get away
can't
from the
stand
sound
it.
of my pipes screaming because It was as fast as Camille could go.
Yeah.
I'm
Poor
buried in
Camille.
every gear. And we finally get to the top of the mountain here, and we're going down the other side. And I did ask later how fast we were going, about 110
Wow.
down
Holy
this hill.
cow.
This is taking it easy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
and at this point you have no helmet on.
I have no helmet on.
Oh.
Now, Chaser is actually one of the only people with the helmet on, and the only reason he is wearing the helmet is because he promised his wife he would wear a helmet.
Oh, well, that's
Aw,
smart.
Good job.
Yeah. So he made a promise. He kept the promise, so I didn't give him too much crap. But, I did give him some. Anyhow, so he's wearing my helmet.
Oh, okay.
Because I have a full face. It was a brand new helmet at the time. And another thing is I had worn my gauntlet gloves the whole way to California. I wore them every single day we had ridden.
Uh-huh.
But at that point in time, I was trying to get going so fast that I just shoved them under my cargo net, so I didn't have any gloves on either.
Okay.
Okay. So when we got up and we headed down the other side of the mountain, they're coming out of Bullhead City or whatever it is. We're coming down the other side of the mountain into Kingman, Arizona.
Uh-huh.
And I can tell you what happened, and then I can tell you what I found out later.
Okay.
So we're going down this hill, and we're just cruising along. All of a sudden, brake lights, right? I'm like, oh shit. So I grab foot brake and a handbrake,
Okay.
right? So I hit both. And I'm trying not to skid so I don't skid right into Waterboard, who's directly in front of me.
Uh-huh.
Well, and if you ask them, it happened a little differently than this, but this is the way I remember it. But it's all very similar.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so I'm going along. I had almost gotten my bike stopped because I'm on a light bike, an 800cc bike, so a very light bike.
Okay.
These guys are rolling with these
Heavy.
103s, 110s, they're big engines. And so, they're very heavy bikes. Well, you got heavy bikes in the back and light bikes in the front, so I almost get stopped. Some dude comes rolling through, pops me right in the back.
Oh, no.
So I had just gotten to the point where I was stopped enough to where I could see the Chaser and Warlord right behind me, and they're okay. And so I got hit. Well, I got hit, and then I immediately ran into Waterboard's back tire. I got flung forward, and according to everyone else, I ditched my bike. I flew through the air. I hit the ground. That was the part they remember. And the part I remember is I don't remember anything about ditching shit.
So you were Superman style.
I was
off
Superman
your
styling
bike.
off my bike. I got on my belly, and as I'm sliding, I pushed myself up and then tucked and rolled onto my feet.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
So
Yeah.
I'm running down the highway. I stop, I turn around, and it's Armageddon behind me.
Yeah.
Like everybody's. There's bikes all over the place, people all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
It was insane.
So what were you wearing? Like your body? Like were you wearing
I
leather?
was wearing my cut on the
Okay.
top, my jeans, and pair of boots.
Okay.
So
That's
not
it.
a lot
Yeah,
of
not a
leather.
lot.
So I got a bunch of road rash on my belly. You can actually see the scars still on my palm
yeah.
where I rubbed my whole palm off, and I got a little bit on this side, but
Rub my
that's
whole
about it.
palm off.
My belly and my palms.
So why were they stopping?
So it turns out the GPS said turn left now.
So you just like that guy just
Yeah.
turned a real
So,
sudden left.
here's the thing. A lot of people in motorcycle clubs, they don't believe that the road captain is very important.
Okay.
I believe the road captain is the most important position.
So the
you can
road
have.
captain is the guy that kind of leads the pack,
When
right?
you've got a good road captain, the road captain is the one that leads the ride.
Okay.
They're the one that leads the pack of bikes from point A to point B, and they decide the speed, they decide the route, where the stops, everything, right? Because you have a separation of powers. You have the president in charge of, like, basically that's the executive branch. You've got your road captain in charge of travel. You got your sergeant at arms in charge of security and things like that, and you got your business manager / secretary in charge of money.
Right.
Okay, so when you're on the road, road captain is in charge. Well, he was not a very good one.
It didn't sound like it. So were you like in the middle? So you had like 15 people in front of you, like 15 people in the back, like in the.
So
like,
I
in the middle?
had 2 people in front of me in my column,
Okay.
because it's 2 by 2 by 2 by 2.
Oh, okay,
Right.
okay.
So there were two people in front of me and then me. And then there were two people on the right column in front of me and one beside me.
Okay.
And then there was a whole lot of people behind me. So we get in this wreck. And, okay, so the first thing I'm thinking is I need to find my guys. You know, because I'm in charge of these guys. I want to make sure they're okay. So I find Jeff, Chaser. Chaser's okay. You know, he said my ankle hurts a little bit, but I think I'll be okay.
Walk that shit off.
Yeah.
Rub some dirt on
So
it.
he puts his boots on. He's good to go. I go find Warlord. Warlord didn't even get hit.
Oh,
At
okay.
all.
Well, that's good.
Like, he is 100% completely unscathed.
Yeah.
I found Waterboard. Waterboard got hit by me.
Right.
And then ran into somebody else.
Oh.
Wrecked. And something hit him about right here. The top thigh area. Yeah. And he got this big softball-sized bruise there and kind of lump. And so he's up there and he's in immense pain. So I stuck my vest under his hat and making sure he's okay. And he's like, I freaking out because of both how much it hurts and also how much it's going to cost.
Oh, yeah.
Because he at that point in time was going to college.
Oh.
And, he had a wife and he didn't have a job and, the insurance situation was kind of spotty.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think he's still paying for that.
Oh my gosh.
Now. And
crazy.
I think he might have just paid it off or something. But, I mean, it was... But anyway, so I told him, about the leaving against medical advice. I said, listen, here's the situation. I have studied emergency medicine. I know when I see an emergency, this is not an emergency. It hurts a lot, but it's probably going to be just fine. If you don't want to go in the ambulance, you don't have to go. You just tell them you want to go AMA and you'll be fine. Okay? And so he says, I want to go AMA. They leave him alone. They make me go AMA also. I had some scrapes on my belly and they're like, oh, we want to transport you. I'm like, fuck, you're going to transport me. I'm not going to pay $2,000 to let you, to tell me that I have scratches.
Right.
And so,
We are different people.
Yeah, you better just get up out of my face. Well, what had happened is when we wrecked, because that ambulance was there fast.
I bet.
When we wrecked, there was an ambulance going the other way on the highway.
Oh, wow.
So he just flipped a
That
bitch
was
and came on
just
back.
getting ready to go on duty.
Yeah.
So they just came on duty. And then right behind where we wrecked, there was a couple of Army medics.
Oh, wow.
So they jumped out and came to help.
That's crazy.
Right? So I'm walking around triaging people like, you're okay. You wrap this around his head. You keep, your hand on this and make sure, okay, you're good. You guys stop the traffic. But I'm running around barking orders.
Yeah.
I didn't stop for 2 seconds that whole time. By the time the police showed up, we had every bike cleared off the freeway.
Oh,
we had
wow.
every person either transported or taken care of that didn't want to get transported. And we had every piece of bike that was on that freeway gone.
Wow.
In the police report, it actually says that they couldn't figure out what happened. So they had to construct their accident scene based on what other people what everybody said. So it's completely like
Hearsay, the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing is 100% hearsay.
Yeah.
Like completely. And when the truck finally came to pick me up, because I was one of the last people to go, because it was only like a mile away to where we were going to the party at.
Oh, okay.
So they had sent a
Fuck it,
pickup
we're
truck.
still going to that party.
Well, my stepbrother, his club name was Da Vinci. He's my actually in life stepbrother. Anyway, it was his chapter.
Oh.
And so he and I had already talked, and he was excited to see me. And this thing happened. He sent some guys down to figure out what happened to me. These guys come down with a truck, so I'm sitting in the back, and I was like, and they were like, what's your name? Because I was relating back to the hit by a train, and then also I got in between these two, I got hit by a car.
Right.
And my vehicle got totaled. So I'm going off on these guys about how you can't fucking kill me. Like I was
I'm unbreakable.
high on the. I was high. on something. I don't know what, like endorphins, whatever, natural something. I thought I was the most invincible person that ever existed in this world.
Well, you're fucking lucky.
Because I got hit by a train.
Yeah.
I got hit by a car. And then I got hit in a motorcycle wreck with 50 bikes is what I thought it was at the time. And come to find out it's a few less than that. But, 30, somewhere between 30 and 50. But then I got in a big bike wreck and I hadn't so much as been to the hospital yet.
Yeah. And you didn't have a helmet. That's
nope, no helmet. And I didn't even bust my face at all.
That's crazy.
Chaser, on the other hand, who was wearing my helmet, bounced his face off the ground.
Oh my god.
Didn't he end up with a broken ankle?
He did. So waterboard, the rest of the story.
Yeah.
The waterboard ended up going to the emergency room when he got home because his wife made him.
Oh.
And they told him he was fine and that he would just, here's some ibuprofen, rub some dirt on it, you pussy. And so I was like, yeah, guess what? Listen to Uncle T-Dub, I know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I like to use that one a lot because he does not like to listen to what I tell him to do. Chaser ended up having a fractured tib fib. Tib fib. Yeah, that's it.
In your ankle?
No, it's the two bones that go make up your shin.
Yeah. See, thank you. I thought he broke his ankle this whole time.
And he cracked that, so he was laid up for a little bit. So I start getting on the phone and talking to people. Bear in mind, I haven't talked to my ex-wife at this point in time, which was a huge point of contention later. She was very upset with me, but I had people to take care of.
Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Let's just stop here for a second. You fucking cleaned up an entire wreck. Yep. Went to a party.
Yep. Where I'm not finished yet. I went to the party, but I was not partying.
Yeah, but you have not taken a moment to call your wife at this point?
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was.
Girl, I feel you.
I know. I'm telling you, it was my fault. It was. I should have called her earlier, but I have. But the thing is I felt very, very responsible for these people that were with me, and so I had to take care of them before I could take care of me. You know what I mean? And so when we got to the party, as they're drinking, I am calling people on the phone. I got a hold of the regional director from up here in Oregon. And I was like, listen, bro, we just got in a big wreck. Everybody's screwed up. Their bikes are screwed up. We only have one out of the four that's, movable. He starts making some calls. Well, one of the guys in Vancouver had his trailer down here, and he had been wanting to move it up to Vancouver. So he got a hold of a friend of his, and his friend is going to bring it up for gas and lodging and food.
Okay.
That's it. So we leave our bikes there. I got that figured out. So now I know how I'm going to get the bikes home. This guy's going to load them onto Buffalo's trailer and bring them back to Vancouver, and then we can pick them up.
Now I'm going to call my wife.
Nope. So now I got to figure out how we are going to get home. Right? Because I'm in a place I've never met anyone here. The only people I know are Waterboard's dad, Waterboard Chaser, and Warlord's the only people I knew. And so the rest of the people were they were in the club, but I didn't know them. Right? Well, this regional director keeps talking to me. He's like, so you good? You good? Like, no, I'm not good yet until I figure out how the fuck I'm going to get home. Yeah. So this guy's like, and I figured it out later. He just wanted to absolve himself of some responsibility so he could go, beat feet. Well, we had also arranged with this chapter to have places to sleep. And they're like, yeah, we've got you covered. We got beds for you. Don't worry about it. Well, that didn't turn out to be true. But I'll get to that in a minute. So I finally figured out with the president of the chapter we were staying at, he was going to take us up to Las Vegas the next morning, and we'll rent a car and we'll drive it back to Oregon. Okay. So now that I've got everything figured out, I sit down and I'm like, okay, now I got to call, Liz. I got to call my mom. I got to call these people and let them know I'm okay. So I called up Liz. And I was like, we got in a wreck. Everybody's okay. I've just been spending some time. I had to, get stuff figured out. I called my mom and I was like, I'm okay, but I got in this wreck. Blah, blah, blah. I'm good. And I got done and then I sat down and I was like, kind of like, oh, finally I can relax for a minute. And this nurse comes up to me and she's like, we need to clean the dirt out of your, because the EMTs on that thing had just wrapped it with gauze. That's all they did.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is a raw wound that they just put cotton gauze on top of, and now it's 2 hours later.
Barf.
So it had solidified into a paste in my skin. And she's like, okay, well, I have to take the gauze off. And I was like, okay, you do what you got to do. And she's doing this thing that like medical people do, where they try to distract you by looking at other things and stuff. They try to distract you so that they can do something very painful. I was like, don't try to pull that shit. Just do it. She pulled that thing off of there, and that was so bad. So bad. And then she starts scraping it. With the rough part of your sponge to try to get it out of there, and then throwing alcohol on it, not sugary alcohol, but alcohol on it to clean it out. And she's sitting there doing that, and she's like, you look like you want to hit me. I said, you need to finish quickly. And so she finished up. I'm
either gonna punch you in the face or pass out.
Yeah, well, she finished up. I walked outside, got as far as a fence about 10 feet away from the clubhouse, and threw up.
Oh.
And I sat there and hung on that fence for probably 30 minutes. I couldn't move.
The pain.
It was just
all the adrenaline.
Everything had just it was like finally I can relax.
Puke it all out.
Yeah. And I sat there and for a while, and then somebody called me on the phone, and I talked to them for a minute, and then I went back inside and started drinking. And I drank till about 2 a.m, and then went and climbed into what they said was my bed, what ended up being an empty space on some piece of an RV where like 5 other guys were sleeping. And then Warlord got into the tent that they had set up for him with no blankets and no nothing.
Shit.
So we're down there expecting at the very least a sleeping bag. And we had some stuff, but it's cold in the desert at night. Like, it's cold. Mm-hmm. So we slept in that cold ass desert with nothing but our cuts to cover us.
Oh my God.
And leather is not very insulating.
No.
And so we slept out that night, and then the next day we went up to Las Vegas, rented a minivan. Yeah,
and take it,
bunch of bikers in a minivan, but it was the cheapest one that would hold all of us.
Yeah,
and let Jeff and Waterboard put their legs up.
Oh, okay.
So me and Warlord take turns driving, but he drives most of it. We got back home at like 6 a.m. the next day, and that was it.
Dang.
So how they hooked together was I literally was sitting there like, have you seen Training Day?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Yes.
The what?
With Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke?
Girl, come on.
Sorry.
I just watched it recently. I can't say much.
Well, it's a good movie. I love Denzel Washington. Love you, Denzel. Anyway, Denzel Washington plays a bad cop. And he's, at one point in the movie, he's like, you can't touch me. King Kong ain't got no shit on me. And he's just going crazy. Like, he's getting real amped up. That's how I was, and I was saying that kind of stuff to these other guys who were looking at me like,
oh my God.
You're Da Vinci's brother?
Oh, dear God.
Like, yeah.
You're goddamn right.
You're goddamn right. Yeah.
Well, holy shit. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Car wreck and hit by a train.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's very lucky.
I got a lot more.
I'm sure you do.
I got the propane truck fire.
Oh, God.
I got losing the brakes on my propane truck coming down a mountain.
Let's wrap it up.
No, there's a lot of times I've almost died.
You should totally be dead right now.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a part 2.
Well, I'm glad you're not dead.
Yeah.
I am also glad I'm not dead.
I'm sure.
Good job.
Yeah. Well, wow. Thank you so much for sharing all that. My gosh, that's crazy. Like,
Told you I could talk a lot.
thank you so much for coming and letting everyone hear your stories and stuff like that.
You're welcome.
And you did a good drink as well. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And you can send us your survival stories at ishouldtotallybedeadrightnow@gmail.com. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joel.
Thank you, Joel.
Welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.